Good afternoon. If you've heard me talk about the government restructure, then you've heard me refer to it as the most important thing that I will probably ever do as mayor. It's been over 100 years in the making, and perhaps the most important component of that government restructure is the integration and coordination of our public safety services. We are in the process of setting up an Office of Community Safety. And today we are at a seminal moment in that work to reshape and redefine the way we serve the public for purposes of safety. And on the campaign trail, you heard me frequently talk about the importance of integrating that service, providing a specific skill set with the specific circumstances that are happening on the ground. Coordinating that work, leading it, and managing it requires the highest possible caliber of individual. Doing that effectively will require one of the best leaders that we can find in the entire country. Dr. Cedric Alexander will be that leader in the city of Minneapolis. As the commissioner of our soon-to-be newly set up Office of Community Safety, Dr. Cedric Alexander will be leading a comprehensive department that includes the Minneapolis Police, Minneapolis Fire, 911, Emergency Management, and our Office of Violence Prevention. Leading that work and making sure that it functions in a comprehensive fashion is a job that needs to be carried out every single day, and it has become more and more clear to me as mayor that we need a talented and exceptional person that is leading it. By the way, Dr. Alexander has had that kind of deep experience in the past. He's overseen and managed multiple public safety agencies during his career. He was the head director of the Public Safety Department in DeKalb County, which is a metro area of Atlanta. He was a deputy commissioner for the New York State Public Safety Department. He was on Obama's 21st Century Policing Board. He's a clinical psychologist with a specific focus on working with first responders, police, firefighters, their families, and the communities at large. This is a person with a wealth of experience that is highly respected nationwide, and we are thrilled to have him enter our city to make the kind of changes that we need to see. Dr. Alexander has effectively been on the cutting edge of this community safety work for quite some time. He has my full faith. He has my full confidence in carrying that work out to bring us to a new era of safety and accountability in Minneapolis. And we need that right now. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention what we saw over this past holiday weekend, which was a reckless disregard for the safety that people should feel in their homes every day, the freedom to be safe on the street. But this phenomena is not limited to this past weekend, and it's not limited to the city of Minneapolis. Near daily, we are seeing reminders that public safety is a defining challenge for governments at every single level. Across the ideological divide, we've heard that people want this challenge addressed in a comprehensive way, but most importantly, I've heard two overwhelming facets. One, we've heard from people that we need safe communities and we need just effective policing. And two, we need to do things differently to get different outcomes. To that, I have two responses. We hear you, and buckle up. And with that, I am thrilled to introduce to you Minneapolis's very first commissioner of the Office of Community Safety, Dr. Cedric Alexander.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for that nice introduction. And also, let me say thank you to the city of Minneapolis for the opportunity to be here with you today to share with you some of my thoughts and views, and certainly to entertain any questions that you may have in and around public safety. As you heard the mayor mention, one of the most important parts of my work, in fact, the essential part of my work, is being able to bring together those 5 entities of public safety together: police, fire, 911, emergency management, Office of Violence Prevention, bringing them together collaboratively, making them work together in a way that provide some preventative measures around much of the crime that we have seen in ways things have been carried out in this community. We have to think in a forward type of idea now. We know the history of this community before George Floyd. We know George Floyd is still very much a part of our lives. People still feel the pain around it. But the most important thing here for me is that we never forget the history and the challenges, but what we have to look forward to now is a future of change. The community says it wants something different. I have been mandated and I have been directed by the mayor to provide the public safety to this community across those various domains, bringing them together so that when we talk about public safety in this community going forward, it's going to be from a holistic approach. And understand that each one of these respective areas certainly do have their own philosophies, their own ideologies, but when we bring them all together, the end goal must be the same. And the only end goal there is overall public safety in this community. That's what I've been charged with doing. I want to encourage everyone in this community to help me look forward with you in terms of changing things the way that they have been. We, you, I, all of us in this community, elected officials, and media included, we all have a responsibility to move forward today in this community. It has to start somewhere, and I would say that it starts right now. This is something that is hugely important. This is a wonderfully dynamic city. I've lived in a lot of cities over the course of my career. I've been in and out of your city here in Minneapolis the last 4 or 5 years for a variety of different reasons. But one thing I've noticed about your community here is that in spite of all of the beautiful art that you have, in spite of the beautiful history that it represents, in spite of all that, I still sense in this community people who love this community deeply, people who want to see something different, people who want to get back on the streets and ride their bikes and roller skate, regardless of what part of the community that they're in, and feel safe. We all have some ownership in our public safety, even the way that public safety get reported. So I'm encouraging everyone, all of us, to help me help you with this process. There is no one savior in here. It's not me, it's not the mayor, it's all of us collectively. That's how we provide good public safety. When public safety stood up in London, England, under Sir Peel, Commissioner Peel at that time, his remarks were very, very plain, and you've heard it 1,000 times. The police is the community, and the community is police. That's just not some adage that shit just gets thrown around because it sounds good. The fact of the matter is we're only as safe in our community as we have good policing. And police can only do a good job for us if they have the support of the community. It's not a one and done. It's all of us together reaching that goal. This is the day, hopefully, we can turn the page. Hopefully, this is the day we can now begin to think about how do we go forward in public safety? How do we redefine how we provide safety to ourselves? And I think Minneapolis here also has the opportunity more than anything else to be the new brand of what policing looked like in America. You have the opportunity to do that here. And that is my goal. But it has to be all of our goals from all of our respective positions and roles that we play. So let me say this to the police officers that are out there across this city who are out there humping right now, doing their jobs, working hard to make these cities safe. The officers who are preparing to go on duty tonight, and those that will work off in the morning. I support you. I'm here to support you, to give you everything that you need on the law enforcement side to be able to do the things you need to do. I need to be able to support you, and I do. And I need this community to be able to support our police. We have good police in this community, as we do across this great country. But in our community, right here in Minneapolis, they need your support. And they also need to be sensitive to the needs and the feelings of people who reside in our communities across this great city. This is a mutual respect. This is a mutual honor of public safety. This is not who's right or who's wrong any longer. It's about how do we make this right for all of us. We recognize and understand that across all these various platforms, even in violence prevention, we have the opportunity now in violence prevention to sit down and talk about and create and develop and look at programs that have worked very great, that have worked very good for this community in terms of advancing opportunities for young people to stay out of trouble, not get in trouble and then respond, but to stay out of trouble. The operative word here is prevention. That's the operative word. So we need to create that environment. We're going to have to think different. We're going to have to work different. We're going to have to create new ideas, but we can only do it together. I've been around public safety a very, very long time, and I've worked in a number of different domains over the years, from the federal sector to the state to local. And I understand public safety. I understand community policing. But I also understand, in order for any of it to be successful, and in order for this city to be the leaders around advancing policing, we have the opportunity to do this. But we have to do it collectively. There's no one person, there's no one entity, there's no one program. There's a city of over 400,000 residents who have a long and historic history behind you, but really what I'm looking forward to is what's up in front of us. That's where we want to go. Where do we go from this moment forward? We can't keep looking back. We don't forget the history, but in order to move forward, we got to do things different. So I implore, as I begin to close here, I implore from everyone in this community, help me, help you, help this community. Let's all help each other. Community members, business community. It is important that our business community feel a sense of public safety. They drive business and industry and an economy in this community. We need them downtown. We need them in this city. And we're going to do everything that we can in our power, in the charge that has been given to me by Mayor Frey, to make this the safest city in America. That's the goal. We don't get there overnight because we didn't start out, right, maybe in that place. But we can get there, and we will get there. And for those who may be feeling that that cannot happen, visualize it. Close your eyes and visualize this community, this city, in this moment in America's history, which we know that there's a number of challenges. We have the opportunity in this city to make this the greatest city in the country. And we're going to do it from the day I start and up until the time that I leave. That is my commitment to you. I need your help. We're going to support our communities, and we're going to be sensitive to their needs across this entire community, every part of our community. Because if any parts of our community is not safe, then none of us are safe. It is a collective effort. It is a ball game that we're in. We're all on the same team. And for me, I'm about winning Super Bowls. So let's go win this Super Bowl. Let's go take this championship. Let's be the greatest and the safest city in this country. And it's not pie in the sky, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of this community. It is a reality, and it's in our reach to do so. So let's go get it. Let's go get it today, starting right now. Let's go get it. Let's make it happen. I want to open up the floor for any questions any of you may have. Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to ask the obvious question. I'm going to ask it the only way I know how.
Yes, ma'am.
With the recent history of Minneapolis, why the heck would you take this job?
That is a great question, and I'm going to give you a very sincere answer because I believe in this city. I was at home in Pensacola, Florida, retired, fishing 20 miles offshore when I get a phone call. And I said to my buddy on the boat, "It's the mayor. He wants me to talk to him about being public safety, being a commissioner." And I looked at my buddy and, yeah, sure, I'll get back to you, Mayor. But the reality of it is, we have had a number of wonderful conversations together. What, to your question, what drives me, what attracts me to this city, when I look over the course of my career over the last 40 plus years, even in recent years as a senior administrator, I don't see any other opportunity that ever been put in front of me than right now. It's not just this city, it's this moment in time we're in America's history, where we have an opportunity to show people that we can do something different here. And we don't have to, nobody had to beg me to come here. Let me be clear about that. This is a conversation that the mayor and I had. He asked me, and we talked about it, and I shared. I wasn't sure if I was the right person, to be perfectly honest with you. But through further conversations and us getting to know each other and building relationship based on trust and legitimacy, this is why I'm standing in front of this podium today. And trust me, if you don't hear nothing else, if you don't report anything else that I say, I'm here because I believe in this city, and we have an opportunity in this great American city to show the rest of the country and rest of the world from whence we have come is to where we are going. And we're going, and we're going to demonstrate our ability, and we're going to need all of us to do it. And your question is so much appreciated, and I'm sincerely appreciate that question, because I want to be clear to the community. I'm here because I truly feel I have an opportunity to help us move forward together, and I mean that sincerely. Anyone else?
Can you provide more details on your vision for this new department and what it'll look and feel like? And can you also provide more details on your role in the police research?
Yeah, so the first part of your question, as it relates to, as we begin to develop and stand up the Office of Community Safety, you got to remember we're doing this for the first time. We want to be very methodical, we want to be very strategic, but at the end of all this, we want to make sure that what we have in place are opportunities where I will be meeting with five entities of public safety on a regular basis to discuss what? Not just to discuss police, not just to discuss fire, but to discuss those other areas as well too, and how we collectively provide safety and prevention to this community. Now, that does not negate nor minimize the fact that each one of these platforms, police for an example, with its very specific function, we know we got things there we want to do. We want to recruit more. We want to train more. We want to be able to provide in our public safety profile across all domains. We want to provide that type of consistency that will help this community move forward. So as we grow, we develop, and as we stand up very strategically, because we don't want to hurry this, but we know we got to get busy and get it started, because this is huge for this city. This is a first in the history of this city. And I am committed, and the mayor has heard and felt my commitment to be able to do this and to do this right. In regard to the police search, that is a search that is currently in progress. It is a search that's being rendered across this country. It is currently being advertised as we speak, and it will continue until it reaches the term of its termination, the termination of it. But to your question, it is currently in progress and moving right along. Next question.
You have an extensive resume. Is there one thing that stands out to you, your qualifications, or what you've done in the past that you think will really stand out to help you be successful in it?
I think the one thing, it won't be my education. It's not just my experience. It's my heart. It is in my heart. When I take all of those experiences and education and opportunities I've had over the years, and when I employ them in this community, it is truly coming from the heart. That's the only reason I'm here, to help this community make a difference. I want to be part of this, and I need the community to be a part of this. And we need the elected officials to be a part of this. We need the media to be a part of this. So for me, it comes from the heart. That is the one thing that drives me to push me to do the work that I've been doing for years. And I've done a lot of it over the years, and things are certainly very challenging in our country, in our cities. But we're going to defeat this, and we're going to defeat this in this community, and we're all going to work very, very hard at it. Yes, sir. About what? Emir Locke, yes.
I was wondering what you told them about that case, what your thoughts are about it, what you think might be done differently in the future in situations like that. And the second question is, your 911 staff is about 50% understaffed right now. They're having a hard time answering calls. You plan on meeting with them?
Yeah.
Assuring them that help is on the way? And what's that?
Gotcha. So let's talk about the Emir Locke case, okay, if you will. Understand, I know no more about that case than what I read that you reported in the media. All of you have reported in the media. That's all I know. That's what gets reported, right? But in terms of that case being a no-knock warrant, and I believe the city and the mayor and the chief have already reviewed what some of the new policies and procedures are going to be. Once I come on board, that will be part of my examination, not just that particular case, but examining throughout the entire law enforcement or police platform. What are the things they're doing well? What are the things that we can do better? Because that's what I'm looking forward to, is enhancing, doing better, making sure we don't make the same mistakes over again, making sure that our men and women have the resources, the training, and the preparation to do the jobs that they're tasked to do. So that is going to be hugely important for us to do. And what was your second question again? 911 is severely understaffed, and if you go across many parts of this country, many of your 911 centers are understaffed, just like your police departments are. So what does that mean for us? By the way, on tomorrow morning, and I haven't even officially started work yet, but on tomorrow morning, I will be going there personally, being on the ground with 911 personnel, because I want to meet them in the domain in which they work. I want to share my concerns about the hard work that they're doing, and we're going to be talking more with the leadership in 911 as to what are some new things that we can do in order to increase our hiring. But understand, that is very challenging, stressful, grinding work, and the training is grinding. I had the same type of challenges in other places I've chiefed in this country, both in Rochester, New York, and in Metro Atlanta and DeKalb County. But I think more than anything else, we all work with shortages right now. You work with them in your newsroom. They're working with them in downtown, in restaurants, in hotels. So we all are learning how to make these adjustments. But what's critical to 911 is life and death. Those men and women who are working, they are busting their butts. They're committed, they come into work every day, and they're still getting it done. So there's an urgent call for help being given to help them to recruit so that we can get the staffing up to where we want it to be. And while you're talking about that, before somebody asks the question about police and the shortages, because I know that's coming too, right, is this. Same type of energy we're going to use. And I said this, and I will always say this. Yes, we got to look at how we recruit today, because we just don't want to recruit anybody. We want to make sure we're recruiting the right people. We got to look deeper into their backgrounds, their social media platforms, who they hang out with, their histories. We got to look deeper and harder. And that even makes it just that much tougher. But the only people that I want serving in this community in any particular criminal justice or public safety platform are the very best. So we're going to be thinking of some new ways to recruit. But here's something I will say to this community at large. I'm going to say to the police officers that are out there, we got 550 plus officers that can help us recruit every day. We all take some ownership in it. But we even have a bigger base than that. You got over 400,000 people that reside in this city, and we all need to become recruiters. We all need to tell our friends and our neighbors and young people the importance of public safety, talking about it to them in a way that's going to be positive, because we got to have public safety, period. Nothing else, period. So we all can be recruiters, and we all will be, and that's what I will encourage. But yes, we're going to set aside funding. We're going to attempt to put more personnel to go out, sit around, and talk about, and put young people out there to recruit. Young people that can resonate with other young people so that they can see the rewards and the benefits of being able to serve their communities as public servants. Those who are willing to go into 911 and take on one of the most critical missions ever in public safety. Because there is nothing happens until a 911 call is made and someone is on the other end of the phone to pick up that call. That's where it starts, right there. Yes.
Reg, we'll get to you in just 1 second. I wanted to add just a little bit to the doctor's comments here. We all know we need to do a substantial amount of recruiting over these next couple of years. And my ask to would-be 911 dispatchers, to would-be police officers to look at is this new leadership here. You're going to want to work for Commissioner Cedric Alexander. You're going to want to get on board with this leadership because it's going to be transformational, and it's going to be trend-setting nationwide. And so for those that are looking to join a department, look to the Minneapolis Police Department. Look to our 911 center, because we're going to be doing things differently and better, and this is exactly the person you're going to want to work for. Reg, go ahead.
Dr. Alexander, will you be looking at some of the underserved communities here in Twin Cities for your recruiting? I know I've followed some of your work over the years, and you talk about it's not the number of officers, it's the quality of officers. Will you be looking for quality candidates within these communities?
Absolutely. And there's quality candidates everywhere in every part of this community, right? From the north side of town to the south side of town. There are good people who want to be police officers, but we also have to encourage it. We have to help them understand the importance of service in their communities in which they were born and raised, in which they love, but we have to invite them in. And one of the charges I'm going to give to all 5 of those platforms is to encourage, go out, all of us have an opportunity to encourage citizens in this community and wherever they may happen to come from. One of the greatest things you will ever do in your life is to serve the community in which you live in. Whether you're a firefighter, a police officer, a 911 person, whether you work in violence prevention, or whether you work in emergency management. We all got to be on the same team going forward. This is a championship game we're going for. And my goal is to win here and do everything that I can to make it a win. But I can't win it by myself. I need running backs, I need wide receivers, I need corners, and I need everybody to be on the field, in the fight, playing a role so we can win a game. I want to wrap it up here. Thank you all very much, and I look forward to communicating with you in the future. I really do, sincerely. Thank you.
Mayor Frey, one more question. You guys are down a couple hundred officers. There will be plenty of people you know that will say you're putting somebody in a management position at City Hall when we need people on the streets. How do you defend paying somebody a six-figure salary when we need bodies on the streets?
Easy, you get what you pay for. We need top national talent right now to lead this new department, and that is exactly what we got in our soon-to-be Commissioner Alexander. Wanted to just make another note here in terms of the next steps in this process. We plan to move forward with a council request for this particular nomination later this month. I believe it's on July 27th. And then in early to mid-August is when the confirmation will ultimately take place. A lot of that is up to the City Council on the exact timing. So we're moving forward in as quick a timeline as we possibly can. But we really appreciate all the questions today. I appreciate you, and of course, I appreciate the partnership with our soon-to-be Commissioner. Thank you so much, everybody.
Brian, can you briefly tell us about your search for a commissioner and what happened before you made that call to Dr. Alexander?
That's a fair question. We'll ask that one last question. So the last question is what led to the ultimate decision around soon-to-be Commissioner Cedric Alexander. So as many of you know, we have been looking for a chief for quite some time. We hired a consultant firm to assist us with that work. That consultant firm was chose to work with someone who had relationships nationwide, and that was Dr. Cedric Alexander. As we began exploring a number of different options for our chief of police, and I was looking both locally and nationally for the best possible experts to be the commissioner, what became more and more readily apparent is top-tier talent was right in front of me. And so I began having conversations, in some cases hard conversations, with Dr. Cedric Alexander. He asked me some very tough questions. I asked him some tough questions in return. And what the conclusion we ultimately came to was that this is a moment in time in this particular city where we can set a trend for others to follow. Is it an easy lift? No, it's not. I think we all know that this is going to be difficult. And by the way, we all know that after the pomp and circumstance of this particular press conference in a number of weeks, when Dr. Cedric Alexander is on the job, things are going to get tough. And when they do, we got to stay united. We have to stay a team because he and I are going to be working together every single day. Thank you so much, everyone.